Hey guys, what's up? It's Steph with the Glitter Twins, and today's book is gonna be The 10X Rule by Grant Cardone. Now, this book actually is Jen's book, and she let me borrow it, and super thankful for that. I highlighted a lot in this book. You guys know I only highlight the important parts, and pretty much a lot of this stuff was important. So, a couple things that really stood out to me in this book. I usually only like to say really like one practical thing in each of these book reviews, because at the end of the day, you're not going to remember everything in this book. You're really only going to take away one or two things that are going to be actually super valuable that you can actually apply to your life. And one of those things for me was when he talks about the 4 degrees of action. He talks about the 4 degrees of action. He said, number 1 is do nothing. Number 2 is retreat. Number 3 is take normal levels of action. And number 4 is take massive action. So obviously you guys know which one the best one is just by me going over all those. Take massive action. But specifically, what does it mean? What are all these action items, or these degrees of action? What do these even mean? Well, first of all, the first thing is do nothing, which he talks about, you know, if you're doing nothing, most likely it's just because you've given up on your dreams. And you're now pretty much willing to accept anything that comes your way. Maybe you're in that situation now, maybe you can relate to that, or you know someone in that position. And signs that you are doing nothing, if you want to figure it out, if this is you or not. Signs you're doing nothing include exhibiting boredom, complacency, and a lack of purpose. So if you feel like this might be you, then most likely you are on the first degree of action, which is doing nothing. And, you know, the doing nothing group, he says, when the alarm goes off in the morning, the do nothing group will not respond at all. Although it may appear that they're not taking action, it actually takes a lot of energy not to get up in the morning. So doing nothing is actually, it's not exactly doing nothing. It is doing something. You're just resisting. So, for example, do you wake up to your first alarm? No. Okay, well then you're choosing not to. That is actually doing something. Then it's talking about the second degree of action. Second degree of action is going to be retreat. So retreaters, he said, are those who take actions in reverse, probably in order to avoid negative experiences that they imagine will come as a result of taking action. So he says, like the do-nothings, the retreaters justify their responses and believe it is in their best interest to remain operating at their current level. He says, any realm in which you have assumed that you can no longer advance and improve, like when you literally think, this is the spot that I'm at and I cannot go any further, he said, that would be considered an area of retreat. So that's the second degree of action, is the area of retreat. Third degree of action is people who take normal levels of action. So this is the group that appears on the surface to be taking the necessary amounts of action to be normal. And this is the level of action that creates the middle class. And it's actually the most dangerous because it's considered acceptable. And if you guys think about it, that's true. So he also says the goal here is average. So average marriages, average health, average careers, average finances. As long as average works, they are fine with it. They don't cause problems for others or themselves as long as conditions remain steady and predictable. Taking normal action is the most dangerous level of action because it is the most accepted by society. This level of action is authorized by the masses, and therefore people who don't take normal actions don't draw the necessary attention required to catapult them to success. So normal levels of action is something that is mainstream. Most people are in that third degree of action. But he really wants to talk about the fourth degree, which you guys know, that's what this book is all about, right? The 10X rule. It's about 10Xing, which basically means take any goal that you have and multiply it by 10. So bigger. And that's why the fourth degree is massive action. 10X is a lot. It's a lot to 10X your goals. So it says, you know that you'll be stepping into the realm of massive action when you create new problems for yourself and you start to receive criticism and warning from others. But stay strong. This activity will break you out of the hypnotic state of mediocrity that you've been taught to accept. And in order to deliver at that level of massive action, you must take every opportunity that comes your way. He says money and power follow attention. So whoever can get the most attention is the person who takes the most action and sooner or later will get the most results. In order to stand out from the crowd and for customers to even consider your products, services, and organization, you must take massive action. So he's saying massive action is a necessity. It's not just something that, maybe you'll do, maybe you won't. Massive action is a necessity. And this guy is super smart. Grant Cardone, if you don't know who he is, look him up. He is, I'm sure you'll find him if you just type in his name, Grant Cardone. You can figure out who he is, but he's a very successful guy. And he's giving really good advice in this book. So if I would say one thing that I took away from this, one practical thing is I actually applied the 10X rule, taking massive action. I actually applied that, and I took a goal that I had. Jen and I had, the Glitter Twins. We had a specific goal to sell 5 VIP boxes, and we 10x'd that goal, and we made it 50. Now, 50 is a lot. 10x'ing your goal is a lot. And guess what? We fell short of the 50 goal. Of course we did, because that's a huge goal. So just know you're going to fail. You're going to fall short of your 10x goal because it's so huge. It's so big. And you're going to underestimate the amount of time, the amount of effort, the amount of money that you're going to have to put in. But the thing is, guys, it's worth it. And guess what? We sold way more than 5, which was our initial goal. So by 10xing your goals, by actually taking massive levels of action, it's not just about creating bigger goals. You actually have to take the action to back it up. So that's what taking massive levels of action is all about. It's about taking action that's not just like here and there action. It's like, no, you're going in. You're taking massive action. And here's the thing. This is what he says, guys. When you start taking massive action, and I've kind of experienced this myself, you do start getting criticism by people, You start getting people kind of bagging on you because if somebody feels inferior to you, if they feel like, well, I'm not taking this much action, like this person's a little bit out of control, they're taking too much action, they're gonna feel defensive, and that's just a natural response. I have empathy for those people, and I feel for those people that are like that, but don't let those people get in your way. At the end of the day, you could label them as haters, but really they're just jealous of your attempt at massive action. So because most people aren't trying to take massive action, most people are stuck in the normal levels of action. So like Grant Cardone says in this book, the masses, the majority of people accept normal levels of action. That is accepted. Massive levels of action is not accepted. That is crazy. That is too much for people to even handle, and they start bagging on you once you do. So understand that, great, 10x your goals, but look, you're going to get hate for it, and that's just the name of the game. So if you're going to take one practical thing away from this book, the 10x rule, I would say take massive levels of action, even if you get criticized for it, even if people start hating on you for it, and even if people try to knock you down and try to make you seem like you're trying to do too much, you're working too hard, you're doing too much. Don't listen to those people. Plug your ears, drown out the haters, and keep doing your thing. Take massive levels of action. 10x your goals. 10x your goals. Take any goal that you have and multiply it by 10. And then in order to actually achieve that goal, because you just multiplied your goal by 10, you have to take massive levels of action. That's the only way to get there. Catch you guys in the next video. Peace.